Hi there, it's me Audrina Lane again, and first off I'd like to apologise because there's not been any chapters for the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where you are with your reading, I've just released another book on Amazon, so I've been busy doing a bit of promotion on that. But let's get back to the reason I started writing, my first novel, Where Did Your Heart Go? And we're up to chapter 53, and you may have noticed I've swapped rooms. So here goes. On the way back to the hotel, Charlie leaned against Mitch on the back seat and closed her eyes, reliving the lift once more. He held her tight as she soared above him, and when she opened her eyes he was still holding her. When they reached the hotel, Charlotte and Mitchell crossed the lobby and went up to their room. They both needed a shower amongst other things, and they had some time before dinner that evening. Mitchell also had to go and see the manager regarding the possibility of work following that morning's dance session. Mitchell shut the door and watched as Charlotte flopped onto the bed. He crossed the room and paused to take a moment to gaze at her. A slight hint of sweat still lay on her smooth skin as she reached out to him, and he could linger no longer from her touch. Removing his top and kicking off his shoes, he watched her watching him, drinking in the shape of his body as he crossed to the bed, and she sat up to receive him. Pushing her back down, his body covered hers and their lips joined them together. When they pulled apart, Charlie felt her whole body flushed beneath her clothes, and she knew she had to get out of them, calling out from beneath Mitch to hop off the bed. She saw him looking quizzically at her as she stood in front of him and slowly started to remove her dress. Charlotte saw him start to get up to help, but she stepped backwards and shook her finger at him. Mitch grinned at her boldness as the straps fell away from her body and the dress pulled at her feet. Stepping out, she wore just a strapless bra and lace panties, black against her pale skin, which was lightly tinged pink. Mitchell could wait no longer as he was off the bed, and he shrugged off his trousers and stood in his underwear. "I want you now," he said, drawing her into his arms. "Me too," she replied, as her fingers touched his warm skin, a charge crackling between them. They danced backwards to the bed and fell onto its softness, Charlie beneath him as he kissed his way down her skin and removed her silver shoes. As his lips travelled back up, he hooked his fingers under her panties, and she arched her hips so that he could pull them off. Then his hands were in her hair as his fingers and tongue set to work on her already quivering body. Leaving her wanting, he moved further up to her nipples, and then back to her lips, rolling over so she could lay on top of him. Charlotte smiled down at him, and her eyes sparkled with love and lust as she moved down his body in return and released him from the tight confines of his underwear. Mitch leaned up slightly to watch as her lips followed her hands and took her into his mouth for the first time. Lying back, he surrendered to her touch as she flicked it over him until he could take it no longer. Pulling her down, Mitchell was about to roll her back over again, but she pushed him down and stayed on top. Easing onto him, she sighed, and almost came instantly. But she pushed on through the first wave and started to move slowly against him. He held her hips close and moved with her, rocking and rocking as their breath got faster and faster, their kisses longer and stronger. Looking directly into each other's eyes, they reached the brink and then toppled over together. Mitchell held her tight, watching her eyes close and drift off to sleep, still locked onto his body. He kissed her gently on the lips and closed his own eyes. Their adrenaline departed, leaving them limp after the dancing and love-making. When Charlie woke, she tried to move out of his grasp, but he still held her tight. She kissed him and was rewarded as his eyes opened and drank her in once more. "I'm starving," she said, rolling off him and leaning back against the pillows. Me too. Should we get dressed and go out, or should we get room service?" Mitch asked. "I feel too tired to go out, and I don't really want to get dressed," she said, a wicked grin lighting up her face. Leaning over, Mitchell picked up the phone and ordered, "Shall we have a quick shower before the food arrives?" "Yes." Under the water, they were still unable to take their hands off each other. Charlie wondered if sex could be addictive, because at that moment she was under its powerful spell. Wrapped up in the hotel rooms, they sat on the bed and tucked into their steak sandwiches. "So, how do you think things are going with our parents?" Charlie asked between mouthfuls. "It's hard to say, really. Perhaps we'll see how they are at dinner tonight." They laid back on the bed together, appetite satisfied. "So, do you fancy coming over to mine next weekend?" Mitch asked. "Yes, no college now, so I'm kind of free any time. We're still going to dance at the Rock on the River event the following weekend." "You bet. Mum won't tell me who the headline act is yet, as they are making a big announcement at the end of next week on the radio. The guys are all up for coming down, and Dad said he'd sort out a minibus and drive them." "Great, as I think Julia is quite taken with Simon," Charlie said, smiling over at Mitch. "Oh no, not more matchmaking," Mitch groaned in a light-hearted way, and she pulled him close. Then Mitch had another shower, a shave, got dressed quickly, and phoned reception again to find out where he needed to be. "Will you be okay to meet me at the bar?" he asked. She gazed at him in his dark trousers and floral shirt. He looked amazing and so sexy. "Yes, it will give me time to paint my nails," Charlie replied, wishing she could rip off his shirt and jump on him again. Running a bath, she slipped out of her robe and sauntered past Mitch, who slid her hand down her spine as she passed. "God, I wish I didn't have to go," he said, pausing at the bathroom door. He watched Charlie slip under the bubbles and smile seductively up at him. He had unleashed a monster, but he loved it. "Off you go, Mitch. I'll see you later. I'll be the sexy one at the bar," she said. "If you're not down in an hour, I'm coming up to find you," he joked, blowing her a kiss. "Don't open the door to any strange men." She blew him a kiss back and watched as he left. Alone in the water, she shaved everywhere and felt the feelings of desire coursing through her as she closed her eyes and relived all their love-making to date. For a virgin yesterday, she was more than making up for lost time. Looking in the mirror, she tried to decide if she looked any different, as she certainly felt it. Opening the wardrobe, she found her new floral dress. It was short with a jagged hemline that rose. She wore no bra underneath, as it held her snug under the bust. With nails, hair and makeup done, she surveyed the result in the mirror. Feeling nervous about going downstairs alone, she grabbed her phone and rang her mum. "Hi, Mum." "Hi, Charlie, are you okay?" "Yes, thanks. Mitch has gone for a meeting with the hotel manager and wants me to meet him downstairs in 10 minutes, but I didn't want to go on my own." "Okay, I'm nearly ready, so do you want to come to my room?" "Cool, Mum. I'll be there in a bit." So that's the next chapter. We are gradually getting closer and closer to the end of the book and the end of the story. If you are enjoying it and want to read ahead, don't worry, you can buy your own copy on Amazon. The ebook's only 99p or 99¢, and you can also get the paperback there. Or if you'd like a specially signed one by me, then pop over to my website, which is www.audrinalane.co.uk, and you can send me an email from there, and I'd be more than happy to sort out a price, including postage, and obviously my signature at the front. Anyway, that's it from me today, and I'll see you again next time. So, bye for now.